Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I'm full of happy faces this morning. I can tell already this is going to be a great review. Today I'm the host, Adam Cousins, and today I am joined by two of our regulars in America. Smack Dave, Christ almighty. In America, Parker is obviously, it's about 3 a.m., so we're assuming he's going to be having his 40 winks after SmackDown, but I'm joined, of course, by our illustrious leader, Mr. Andy Burrows. You look really happy, Andy.
Morning. Yeah, I've had a cold all week. I haven't felt great, and I've just watched SmackDown. And
we'll get into that in a minute. And of course, Smack Dave, David Robinson. Morning, Dave.
Morning. You okay, mate?
Did you shit the bed this morning?
I did. Yeah. Once everything got cleaned up, I thought I might as well watch SmackDown and jump on with you two dickheads.
Didn't know you had AM on your clock, Dave.
It's in my new contract. It's in my new Hitting the Turnbuckle contract. So
you got one, did you? We haven't seen you top 10
after my first written warning. I thought I better show up today.
I was going to say, we haven't seen your top 10 yet, so that contract may be like the contract that we saw on SmackDown a little bit later on. Let's get on with it. Fatal 4-Way kicked off. It was the United States Fatal 4-Way match to take on Santos next week. It was Sheamus, Cameron Grimes, Rey Mysterio, LA Knight. And they didn't pull the trigger on LA Knight. Dave, come on. Fatal 4-Way. We'll start with you because I'm going to have to go to Andy in a minute because I'm sure he's fuming. Fatal 4-Way, what did you make of the start and not pulling the trigger on Mr. Knight?
Oh, well, when the show came on and it was starting with a 4-way, I was pumped. I thought, what a great way to kick off SmackDown this week. Obviously, they're not on Fox either. They're on FS1 in the States. So I think they're pulling out all the stops there to try and make sure the ratings they get the best rating they can. But it was just a bit strange in terms of the booking, and I think that sums up SmackDown for me tonight. Good match, enjoyed it. LA Knight comes on the microphone at the start, cuts himself a little promo. I thought that was a bit much, but I thought that was because he's going over here and he's going to be the guy to take on Austin Theory at SummerSlam. And then Austin Theory costs Rey Mysterio in the match, but then Rey Mysterio still wins the match. So, a questionable decision here. I thought I'd figured it out. I thought Santos Escobar beat LA Knight in the run-up to Money in the Bank. So LA Knight was going to win here, and then next week he was going to get his win back over Escobar, and he was going to go on and face Theory at SummerSlam. But they've gone off in another direction, and that direction is 48-year-old Rey Mysterio. So, a little bit underwhelmed by the result, but I thought the match was pretty good. Andy, over to you. Done my best.
I thought the match was terrible. The fact they haven't pulled the trigger on LA Knight is terrible. Talk about not listening to your audience is terrible. Who in the blue hell wants to watch Rey Mysterio or Pablo Escobar going for the United States title? Who at SummerSlam? If you put that on the pre-show at SmackDown, I'd be pissed off. SummerSlam. This is the second biggest show of the year. I'm hoping they're doing something next week that match doesn't happen, because if it's Rey versus Pablo Escobar, I'm not watching it. It's bad enough I'm going to be in Spain anyway, so I'm already going to be another hour ahead. So it's going to be like God knows what time in the morning for me when I do watch it. Talk about WWE not listening to your audience. It's like LA Knight's got to a certain point and they've gone, no, we're not doing this again. We've done this with Daniel Bryan. We had the whole yes movement and we listened to you and we pushed him and we listened to the audience. LA Knight's his stock's going to drop quickly because, if they keep doing this, people will just lose interest because they're just like, well, it's good that he cuts promos and he's over and we like him. Kind of like the Becky Lynch 2.0. She was over and over and over. And I know she got injured and that kind of affected it. But it's just, unless they're doing something next week, and I will completely eat my words and I'll take it back and I'll go on record here now saying it. They might do something next week where one of the Ray or Pablo get injured, or someone has to be inserted into the match.
Santos, not Pablo. We're not talking
Santos,
about the drug dealer.
I need drugs to be getting through this. But they need to do something, because it was awful. I just wasn't invested at all. And when the pin happened, I was literally watching it downstairs like an hour and a half ago, and I was like, they haven't just done this. My exact words were out loud. It was only my cat listening. No one else was up in the house, and even the cat had gone to sleep. I was like, they haven't just done this. They haven't just not put LA Knight over, and at least teased that he's gonna be having a shot to be at the main, well, not the main event, but going at SummerSlam against Austin Theory for the US title. Unless they pull it round next week, then no. This, for me, that just got SmackDown off to a bad start. I was like, oh God, they're not listening again. Yeah. They might have other plans, like Dave said. I don't know where they're going with it, but who wants to see Rey Mysterio in? I love Rey; he's a Hall of Famer, but do you really want to see him? You kind of know. Say, for argument's sake, if it is Rey that wins next week and he goes to face Theory at SummerSlam, are they realistically going to put the title on Rey? That's a step back for the title, surely. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but all right, he might elevate someone else. He could lose it the next week on SmackDown, but is this really where we want to go?
Well, I think they're going to go Santos. I think they're going to go Santos Escobar.
Right, let's put the belt on Santos Escobar.
Well, obviously Santos has picked up his win this week, and well, I know we're going to get to that, but I think that's the direction they're going. I don't think they're going to go Rey, which, as you say, is one of the headline matches or one of the marquee matches for the US title. Santos Escobar versus Austin Theory, where people, for me, I'm not massively invested in Austin Theory. Strange one. What did you think, Ad?
Questionable. I did read prior to SmackDown that they were very heavily discussing putting a title on a Latina. No. So before I watched SmackDown, I already kind of thought it was only really when this match obviously kicked off. I thought, well, there's two Latinos in this. We know the shirt sales. Well, actually, LA Knight's the top merch, but we know WWE is all about how much merch you make. Again, how much money you make the company. So with the LA Knight thing, Jesus, I mean, how many is it? It could just be WWE rebelling back on there, because they don't like people getting over organically. They like the monster. Let's give you all the push that production value, push everything from a start. They see Austin Theory as a star, and he is, but is he a star right now? No, but they're invested in him. I actually thought the match was fine. I was quite good. It was all right. It fell a bit, as you say, Dave, I was a bit questionable with. It looked like Austin Theory had cost Rey the match, which then, when he goes on to win the match, makes me agree with Andy that he's going to SummerSlam. Or they haven't actually said when this match is, but I'm sure it will be, because next week's the final.
Next week's the final, and then whoever wins that gets the match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but they haven't stated it's going to be SummerSlam, which could it mean be the Friday before, and then Austin goes somebody else again? I mean, I don't know. This is just
because if they don't, and they do go with the winner of that match at SummerSlam, does LA not even get on SummerSlam? Because he didn't win Money in the Bank. He's not gonna, he didn't win this match. So does it just bypass him? Is he on the pre-show? Is he even there? I don't know. So we may have egg on our face, and we might have to eat our words. But after this week, a lot of questions.
Yeah, definitely. So NXT heavy, this wasn't it? A lot of NXT star. I know it's Orlando, so it made sense. But anyway, we'll get on to the second. I mean, they replayed the Raw stuff over and over again. Out comes Charlotte Flair for a match against IYO SKY, and Andy thought I had beer in my cornflakes this morning. I thoroughly. My biggest thing about the women was not having the time in the ring. We've seen. We saw the prime example, Dave, when we done the AEW review, we said Britt Baker had the 2-minute squash, and it was like, is that really showcasing the women? Well, this match was long. It might not have been as brilliant, a great long match, but it was still a long women's match, which give them the time and the storyline, Dave. We was talking about women and the storyline side of things and giving them a storyline. Well, they have. This is a storyline. This is now moving into a triple threat at SummerSlam between Bianca, Asuka, and which we knew it was going anyway. That's where it was going. But Andy, come on, you were shaking your head, so come on in, hit us with it.
Terrible, clunky, waiting for your opponent to get there to do moves. There was no and this is me saying this about Charlotte Flair. Hello, everyone knows I love her. She's the GOAT. I didn't get into it. I don't like IYO SKY. I don't think she's great in the ring sometimes. And just all these ads. When we very, very first started this show, you talked about trampoline wrestling. I thought I was watching a gymnastics show. At the start, there were real roly-polies, there were cartwheels, and they were really... I was like, is my TV playing up? Is it going in? Have I got this on slow motion? I just didn't like it. All the cartwheels and the rolling at the start, and literally you could see Io was in the corner, and she's like, yeah, Charlotte will be here in a minute. Oh, and then she flips over and he wraps her legs around her. Then you can see them. Yeah, okay, you might actually want to flip her now. We don't need to have this whole wrestling match in slow motion. I didn't like it. I thought it was terrible. Bailey going to the back when obviously the little thing on the screen. Yeah, come on the screen. No, not for me. This entire show was fucking terrible. Awful. And this didn't help. It just bored the living bejesus out of me.
I did notice those communicators you mentioned.
Dude, and they weren't even calling their spots quietly. I could hear every single word.
I noticed that with LA Knight, though.
LA Knight, when they were laying on the mat. Yeah, we're going to get to that. And he literally might as well text him or something because it was ridiculous. I heard all these, and this is me saying this about a Charlotte Flair match, by the way, everyone knows I think she's incredible.
She was your number one.
She is. I think she's amazing in the ring, but this was just... clunky.
It wasn't as fluid as you would expect. They had decent chemistry, but as you say, it was a little bit too choreographed at times. I agree with both of you to a degree. I agree with Adam that it's good that the women are getting this longer match and they can develop the storyline. And they had the bit with Asuka at the end. They had the bit with Bailey going off. Obviously going to face Shotzi.
Yeah.
So there's different things going on within the women's division, which is good. But yeah, it was a little bit clunky at times in the ring. There was some good parts, so I didn't mind it, to be totally honest. I thought this was probably, out of what I didn't rate a particularly great SmackDown, one of the better parts of it.
Bailey Shotzi at SummerSlam.
I know. I just
wants to see that.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But in terms of the fact that that's the story,
I'm going to need a lot of Baileys to get through that. Put it that way. Honestly, my God.
You're going to be in Spain for that one as well.
It's SummerSlam, isn't it? Yeah, I'm in Spain I fly out next Sunday for 2 weeks. I'm there for
I enjoyed Bailey on commentary. They obviously trusted her.
Her and Michael Cole. That was a little throwback to the COVID times.
They obviously in the previous match they didn't trust Austin Theory on commentary. Perhaps he didn't do a great job the week before. But Bailey, she's got that great chemistry with Michael Cole, and I thought that was pretty fun. Wade Barrett, by the way, he's becoming one of the best commentators WWE have got, in my opinion. I think he explains stuff as well at times, which might not be obvious to the audience, or he covers for any mistakes or anything that happen in the ring. He covers really well for as well. I thought Wade Barrett was really good this week on SmackDown.
Yeah, he's no Excalibur, but he's good.
It's no Taz.
Excalibur, Jesus. Move on. So for those that we don't review NXT, so if people watch this to get their weekly stuff, you will miss the fact that Dominik Mysterio did win the North American title, much to the chagrin of about 90% of the American population. And he had an interview which was interrupted by Butch that set up a North American. Oh, Shawn Michaels was there as well, and Shawn Michaels having to get permission to have his title defended on SmackDown from NXT. But that match was made, and then following that, we saw the match between Austin Theory and Santos Escobar. So obviously, not Pablo, Andy Santos.
I prefer Pablo.
Yeah, well, I'm sure some of Colombia do. Obviously, Santos ran out during the 4-way to assist Ray when he was getting attacked by Santos. And I didn't enjoy this one. I will say that. It had its moments where I thought it was okay. I'm still not fully 100% behind Theory on this. I know, Dave, you'll touch on it, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same. But I'm just not. I'm not there yet with him, and it seems to be. I don't know. They thought maybe the Cena thing would have got him over, but it didn't because the match just wasn't right. Dave, Austin Theory, you're not fully behind him either, are you?
No, he's very green, isn't he? For me, they've invested so much time in him. You kind of like the fact that they get behind somebody so much. but you can't force it down the audience's throat, and I think that's what's happening. I question this match being there at all, to be honest. Wade Barrett said it'd be quite good for Theory to kind of get a look at one of his potential opponents, to EP with Rey Mysterio, which again was a good job of trying to cover for the bad booking, I thought. But I don't see the need for this. I don't know. Andy?
Shit, move on. Didn't care.
No, I think that pretty much sums it up.
It was as if they got like a skeleton crew of wrestlers that could use this week, but they haven't. They've got loads of guys sitting in the back doing nothing, or perhaps even on dark matches.
It was literally like they'd gone this week. It is like they'd gone, right, we've had money in the bank. We've flown to London. We've done the tour. We've been in Madison Square Garden. We're tired now. We can't be bothered. Let's just, like you say, it's like, let's just put the skeleton crew out tonight. Everyone else, apart from Roman and what we'd get to in the main event, the main segment of Finish SmackDown. Yeah. It's like they've gone to everyone else. You know what? Take the day off. It's Friday. Go and have some beers somewhere. Just chill at home. We don't need you today.
Well, do you think that's because they weren't on Fox? They expected.
Yeah, but it's still FS1.
Yeah.
It's not like they've put them on. 10 channels past Babe Station or something. It's just like, they're still on FS1. And a lot of people I saw on Twitter this morning as I was scrolling through going, I can't believe they moved SmackDown for a soccer match. It's the World Cup. Hello.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this. It's the World Cup.
You would think even more so because they know the rating's going to drop big time anyway. You would have thought they would have loaded it up. Because of that reason.
You can never imagine they think.
But it always amuses me when people say, the ratings are going to... You've only got a Flickr channel. Imagine if I said to you, all right, Adam and Dave, the football's not on Sky Sports 1 today, it's on Sky Sports 2. Oh, no, what? I've got... No, it's like, what? It's FS1. Still one of the biggest channels out in the States, by the way.
Yeah. It is strange, and it's as if saying that people just won't know that it's on if it's not.
It's not like Michael Cole didn't advertise it a million times last week. Every segment. Next week we're on FS1, and it's not like it hasn't ran on. It ran on NXT. It ran on Raw, saying it was on FS1. It's not like people didn't know where to fight. It's not like they've turned on Fox and gone. No disrespect, but the Americans that stupid. They've gone. Oh my God, no boy, not on here now. I've got to watch this silly soccer ball now. Where's my wrestling? No, it's on FS1. Just flip the channel. It's not rocket science. Come on.
Yeah, you can never imagine they think, it's going to be, we're going to do a smaller rating this week, so let's rein it in. You would never think they think like that. So strange one. Strange. I say there was parts that I really enjoyed. I didn't mind sections of the women's match. I thought the show started well. But just as it went on, I just lost interest.
The most important, it seems to be the most intriguing part of SmackDown was Bobby Lashley. The 30 seconds that he had.
Probably the best part of the whole show.
Yeah, where he was on the phone. Everyone was expecting the Street Profits to walk in because obviously last week they looked in the car. But it was Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams from NXT that met with Lashley. This is the part where you could, I would have just happy ended at that. Because that's now like, is he going to create? We know we kind of seen the Hurt Business 2.0 coming, but we don't know. We're assuming it was a Street Profits, but obviously I know Carmelo's the NXT champion, but that doesn't really matter. They don't really care, do they, about that thing. So, are they going to do with that, or do you still both think it's going to be Street Profits?
I'm hoping it's going to be both. Yeah, I think you could kick it off either at SummerSlam. Could have a run in and cost. They're probably, if they're going to stay on SmackDown, realistically, they're probably going to go against the Brawling Brutes. But there's talk of them all breaking up. I don't know. It's probably the best part of the show, teasing the Hurt. I mean, Adam, you said it about 2-3 months ago that you want to see the Hurt Business reform, and I was with you straight away. I was like, "Yep, I'm well in for that." And when they obviously done this, 20-second, 30-second segment on SmackDown, I was like, straight away I thought of you. I was like, Business 2.0. I said Adam's going to be very happy. I was very pleased because it's something I want to see. But when a 30-second segment is the highlight of the show, bear in mind you've still got the bloodline to come at the end. Ooh, you are in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of the main event in terms of matches was on next. Dominik, Mysterio, and Butch. I suppose it's like, look, they rate the Judgment Day. So the plan is, again, when you read the sheets, that they are so high on Judgment Day that they're now putting that plan in place that when the bloodline ends, Judgment Day's taken over. Can't keep having matches where Rhea has to come in. She's not doing nothing with her title. She seems to be concentrating on helping Dominik.
Not only come in as well, by the way, mate. Tell Dominik Mysterio not to lay under the rope so the match can finish. Please tell me I wasn't the only one that noticed that.
I did. The ref even
shouted it. She shouted it. You're laying under the rope. Yeah, well done, dipshit. Get in the middle of the ring.
Is this still a thing that perhaps Dominik still isn't ready for where maybe they, in the group's fine, but title that, because there is pressure. I know he won the tag title, but his dad, and his dad can take the brunt of what's going on. This is Dominik's single title. I'm not sure he's ready for that yet. Andy, do you agree?
Yes, in a nutshell, yes, mate. What they're doing is they're not listening to the audience of LA Knight, but they're playing off the heat that Dominik Mysterio's getting. Yeah. Because if you think when he does a segment on Raw, and they don't have to pump any crowd noise in because he literally gets booed out the building, and the crowd are in, it's kind of a storyline within his storyline. The crowd have got their own storyline. When he come over and he's in the UK, and the crowd, when he's on any shows, he's got booed out the building. But they're listening with Dom, but they're not listening with LA Knight. I'm with you. I don't think he's quite there yet. I mean, maybe that's why they've gone down the NXT route. Maybe we're going to see him a lot more wrestle on NXT now. And I'm with you. I mean, once the bloodline kind of goes off and does what it does, they kind of looks like they're going to. I think Finn's going to win at SummerSlam. So there's one more title in there. Rhea Ripley will have the title, and Damon will have the Money in the Bank, and they're going to play off that whole. Is Priest going to cash in on Finn, and that's going to probably drag out till I think the next pay-per-view.
Or do they? I'm going to fantasy book this. Cody wins at Mania against Roman. Priest cashes in and ends the story straight away, and Judgment Day with everything up in the air.
No, my God, no. no. What? Imagine WrestleMania going off it. No, what? Do you know I'm already in a bad mood? Are you trying to kill me this morning?
Well, you've got a 3-hour drive for a pre-season.
I have, mate. I have.
So, Dave, what's your?
I must ask a question, and sorry, I'm the AEW guy, so let me ask you, WWE guys. Why? What's the explanation as to why Dominik's on SmackDown? Like, given I thought they were drafted to Raw, right?
Don't get Adam started.
Is it because Rhea can go anywhere because she's got the belt?
No,
let's go for it. Tell him, mate.
No,
Tell him in.
No, it's just the draft doesn't matter, mate. It really is. Like
it does not matter.
I suppose now they could say that Dom can go anywhere because he's
North America.
Yeah, but it's like technically Rhea should be on Raw, Bianca should be on SmackDown, and that is it. But you know what? Jesus Christ, when the draft ever made sense in WWE?
Has Rhea got a match yet at SummerSlam?
No, but it's probably going to be against Raquel because Liv's injured again.
Another great match. SummerSlam's like it.
It's not looking good, is it? No, anyway, Dominik.
More positives from this. Good that Pete Dunne's on again. Butch, love seeing him week in, week out. But oh man, this finish was bad on it. It was bad. I think Dominik is a great character, and he's doing really good work. But he's not there as a wrestler, and I'm not sure if he ever will be at this stage. I'm not. You've either got it or you haven't. So I've enjoyed the stuff with him. I've enjoyed the storylines, and it's been entertaining. But I don't want to see him pinning Pete Dunne's shoulders to the mat on SmackDown. I think that's a little bit insulting. So that's my hot take.
That's your hot take on that. Well, we're segueing straight to the last part of the show. Probably one of the worst Bloodline segments that we've loved it. It's been so good. I hated this because what's tribal combat? They haven't broken this. That like all of a sudden it's now tribal combat. What does that?
No DQ.
No DQ. Anything goes.
Yeah, but call it fucking Street Fight then. Why does it have to have? It made no sense to me. I thought this was one of the worst Bloodline segments they've done since they brought this together. And maybe now, Dave, and I'll come to you first. Are they running out of ideas?
I can only assume that some of the elders someone should have appeared this week, like a Rikishi, or someone was meant to be there, and in the last minute they had to change it, and then so they had to do this. That's all I can give them, because this was as you say, probably the worst Bloodline segment I've seen, probably the worst contract signing I've seen.
Was it a contract signing?
Well, at least if you get a
you.
contract signed, you get a fight or something, But
But it
this was
wasn't
just
advertised as a con. It was
no,
advertised as rules of engagement, and then Roman started, and I'm thinking, what's he signing? Because what?
yeah, good show,
What?
yeah.
We're not. Don't get me wrong, it's wrestling. I know that, but you advertised it as this big. This is the rules of engagement. Well, okay. Well, first of all, tell us what that is. Then Roman starts signing the contract. Jey rips it up, and he's like, "No, we're gonna." And I'm like, what? When was this even a contract signing? I mean,
Yeah,
you
good
literally haven't
show,
explained.
yeah.
You haven't explained anything here to us. You
Roman
literally
Reigns
told,
had signed something, without any rules of engagement at
there's
all.
no
Yeah,
rules of
good
engagement.
show.
You just signed it, and it's
Yeah,
just like, what the is going on here? And it was, I'm with you guys. I thought it was, and everyone knows Roman's, he's my dude, tribal chief. Love watching the Bloodline storyline, but for me, this just summed up the whole show. It's like they've got to the end. You tell me Vince McMahon booked a show without actually telling me Vince McMahon booked a show. That's how this was, because it was goddamn. Well, I don't know. Triple H must have had a day off or something, or he was busy. Because going from last week's SmackDown that we couldn't talk highly enough of to this week is night and day. And we said last week, you've got to follow it up now. You've set the bar. Bars drop well and truly dropped this week because I didn't get the whole. And they had the super kick with Jey.
Yeah,
Why would Roman stop Solo going for Jey after last week, after kicking the living bejesus out of his brother? Why? How does that fit in where he wouldn't let Solo go? Oh, do you know what? Yeah, maybe because if he beats him down so bad, then they won't have a match, and he'll get quote unquote injured.
I thought that he stopped Solo because Solo kind of was thinking last week that he might be tribal chief. He might be going to this position of power. So Roman was kind of saying, you can't do whatever you want. You follow my lead. That's why I think he stopped him, but it wasn't particularly clear. As you say, it didn't really make sense.
No, I don't know if Roman's advertised next week.
Have you seen who is? Mate, honestly.
Yes, they have announced something.
You want to do that review now? Next week's SmackDown's awful.
They have announced a few bits and pieces for next week. I know that they put obviously the Santos Escobar Rey Mysterio match on next week. Obviously, they have to because they got to go. That's got to go to the final. I can't remember what else was announced, Andy. In this
Tyrion Cross versus
Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson, and I think that was it advertised for next week so far. And don't go, Tyrion Cross. I love watching the dude wrestle. I think he's great as long as they don't cut his promo off 5 seconds early again and give him the time. I'd rather see someone like him get a little push and more TV time. He wasn't even on the show this week.
Yeah, they kind of set up like doing a video skit of
and you're like, what, man? It's just like put him on there. I
would have preferred him even against some enhancement guy, just to kick the crap out of someone, like, that would have done. It would have just because he's another one, isn't he? The booking of that guy, Jesus, like he's left.
Like when they brought him back and they haven't really done anything.
Well, when they brought him back, he was with the Roman and Drew, and you're thinking, oh, yeah, here we go. Someone else is coming into, and then he's just gone.
Yeah, but how can you have all that NXT talent in the building,
not use them,
and maybe not use them for anything? What's that like when Dominik was in there? The guy that he lost beat for the title.
Oh, yeah,
have him
finish
it as a DQ or something. He comes in trying to get revenge or something. Yeah. So, like you say, you don't have to see Dom get the pin, but you still you had all the NXT guys. Then you didn't really. Just use them for something. Give them a little bit of like, I know it's only on FS1, but give them a bit of exposure that they might not get. And people be like, oh, I might watch NXT on. Don't get wrong. I think I saw the ratings for NXT last week and they were really good. Massive, really good ratings. I think they're one of the highest rated shows this week of WWE. But you can't have all them NXT people there and just pan the camera to them and then just use them for some. If you've got that limited card, like Dave said, I don't know where half the card worked. They're just getting the night off. But use the NXT guys then, because they can do something. Why not use them?
A showcase match, yeah.
Just do. I mean, they might have done something as I haven't Googled what the dark match was this week. I usually have a look before we record, but they might have done something. But just use the NXT guys better. If you've got them all in the building, just do something with them.
You want to improve the rating. I mean, I know it has been improved because obviously Seth's been on there, Judgment Day's been on there. Clearly, the star power has helped. If you could showcase and add a match. I don't know. Could have had because they had that Tony D'Angelo was there backstage as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
They had also the Creed brothers who have left NXT but are still on NXT, which was what a great storyline. Who booked that shit? But the other thing was, did you notice the new Bella twins? Were they?
The front row. Yeah. Who the fuck are they?
They're on Level Up, so they're on the one below NXT currently. I can't remember what their names were. So there you go. That pretty much says it. You guys have started to do a rate. I hate this. You guys have started to do a rating of, I believe you've done it on Raw. We done it on AEW. I rated AEW higher than Raw. Andy, I'm gonna come to you, Andy, because I know it's going to be abysmal.
Out of 10,
yeah,
a 0.
Oh, there we go. Simple as that. 0.
Easy. Terror. AEW was the best show of the week this week.
AEW's been yes, even
Impact was good. I enjoyed Impact.
Good, yeah.
But for me, AEW Blood and Guts is
So
the winner
far.
by far. See, Parker, not just bashing AEW all the time, my friend. No, AEW won easy this week. Great. I really enjoyed AEW this week. I thought it was brilliant. Really, really good. Pissed all over WWE this week. Absolutely annihilated it.
And they've still got Collision to come tonight.
Still got Collision, yeah. Collision.
I don't know what's going on with that one this year. Dave? What was your rating of SmackDown?
Oh, I'm going to be kind and give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I was on
generous.
Plethora as well
You
for
boys
5.
I'll try and put a positive spin on stuff, but yeah, they do test me at times. AEW test me at times as well. It's not just
you could
WWE.
put this in my washing machine on spin cycle 10 and it still wouldn't get a positive spin this show.
Let's end it on a positive tomorrow, guys.
What did you rate it at?
Oh, 5. Same as you.
Excellent.
Yeah. But let's end this on a high tomorrow. Boreham Wood.
Yes.
Up.
Buckle up. It's going to be better than SmackDown.
Our show could be better than AEW as well. Our show with Ignite is tomorrow. You can't get tickets. Are tough. If you haven't booked it, you've missed out big time. We're going to be there. Obviously, it's our show, so of course
we better turn up.
We better turn up for it. We can't wait for that. It's going to be an amazing event. We're going to be having a major announcement on the show, and we'll have to discuss Buckle Up too, I suppose, won't we?
Oh yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, boys. It'd be good to all 3 of us to be in the same bill. Well, 4 of us with Rach as well in the same building. Super excited. Like I think and a lot of it's quite good that a few people have reached out and said they really appreciate the work that we've done for the UK scene. And tomorrow is going to be, and I've been to Adam, I know we've been to Rev Pro, I've been to a few Apex show, I've been to Ignite. I generally think tomorrow could be the best show UK wise that I've been to. Not just saying it because it's Buckle Up, but the card. You've got Michael Oku on the card making his Ignite debut. I mean, Jesus, you're getting the Rev Pro champ rocking up.
And you're getting the Rev Pro Cruiserweight
champ. Getting the Rev Pro Cruiserweight champ. You've got Smashing Mike. You've got Corey. You've got Aluna. There's so much talent. Yeah, honestly.
Hey, you've got the same sort of hair as Scotty Rourke.
Yeah, you and Scotty Rourke got to get a picture.
We're going to hit it off,
you could form a great tag team. You two could.
I'm a manager.
You could be the Rourke's Nest.
Oh,
no, I've given him another nickname.
Speaking of, you said you're going to be manager, Dave. Can you do your best today, please?
Yeah. So I'm at the Shropshire Wrestling Alliance today, checking out our guest from this week, Nick Aldis, in the main event. Like Derice has been announced as well for us.
I'll tell you about that in a bit. And who's Nick Aldis going against, Dave?
Our boy, Mr. Crowley.
Yeah. So
injured.
Yeah, I'll have a towel, and if it's looking bad, I'll throw the towel in.
Throw the towel in to protect Charles. But guys, we're going to be at Buckle Up tomorrow. You'll see there'll be loads of stuff being posted across our socials. We're going to do an Instagram live with Mike, I believe. Smashing Mike will be coming on Instagram live tomorrow, so check that out. We will obviously be back. We've still got things to fit in. Collision, I know, guys, you may do it tomorrow. I may pass. I may be driving to get there early tomorrow, so I may not be on that show, but I know the boys want to review Collision. We may have a special guest next week. I will wait for Andy to confirm that. We won't tell you who it is, but it will be a massive guest if we do. But guys, this has been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Andy, put a smile on your face. Go and watch your Dunstable town, please.
Come on, a Dunstable.
Dave, enjoy the show tonight. Protect Charles Crowley at all costs. Otherwise, you will be fired. And I will see you both tomorrow. Guys, it's been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast with Smack Dave, with Andy Burrows, and me, your host, Adam Cousins. Until next time, guys, buckle down and stay safe.